Okay. Hey, peeps. I want to make a brief video on straight player haters. Straight player haters. Oh, big fucking deal. I trip on my words sometimes, and I ain't got a Yale degree in education. Oh, well, it happens. I weren't as fortunate as some of you fuckers. Hey, one thing I do know is I'm more educated in the law than you are. And this refers to the player haters with the negative comments. What do you think you gain by making a stupid comment? Who really cares? As long as somebody gets out of this to help them out, to realize that they're actually a living person and not an entity. Y'all player haters, and I refer this to player haters, ones that make the bullshit comments and I ain't good with words. And no, I'm not. I do trip up. My education was minimal. See, I tripped up again. The problem is I try to speak it so quick, like I do in court, that I do trip up. But no excuses. I don't have the education I wish I did. However, at being 50, I just continue to educate myself and learn what pertains to me. Now, that being said, I got court for operating without a license. Next month. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Actually, I got two courts. So I got 2 court dates. Next month. I've already called the state's attorney on a couple different occasions. Deliberately indifference in them that I am the beneficiary of the trust, of the all cap name, that I'm a living soul and not a political entity, not a fictitious dead entity that you're trying to hold accountable. My birth certificate says I am who I am. So I want to know who the all cap name is you have there. Second, let me do the false pretense. People are going to be happy about this that made the player hater comments. Yeah, I got to go to court for selling my own property. I paid off on a camper. I went and sold it. Next thing I know, I got the third party saying I never gave them the money. Now I got to handle my legal affairs in court. Crazy. But I'm not worried because I didn't commit a crime. Now, when you go into court, they're going to say you're here to plead guilty, not guilty, nolo, some bullshit like that. And I'm going to tell them straight up, I ain't here to plead. Not just yet. I can't make a plea yet, Your Honor. I need to know the jurisdiction, the nature and cause. We know the cause. False pretense. We need to know the nature, the jurisdiction. The Constitution says there's only 2 jurisdictions. That's the common law jurisdiction and maritime jurisdiction. Now, for the people that don't know, when you're dealing with criminality in court or crime or been charged for a crime, you got to understand that certain crimes apply differently depending on the jurisdiction. Okay? So, they don't want to tell you the jurisdiction. They don't ever want to tell you the jurisdiction. But you have the right to know. So you can represent yourself, and it won't even be represent yourself. And now those probably be legalese words for them. You would be handling your legal affairs Don't want a hashtag. Don't try to put a label on it. I have the right to handle my own legal affairs. And one way of doing that is knowing what jurisdiction they're applying to the criminal charge. I mean, how am I supposed to proceed, or anybody supposed to proceed, if you don't know the jurisdiction? Is it common law jurisdiction, or is it admiral time jurisdiction? Which one is it? It's got to be one or the other. As soon as a common law, natural law, they're done. As soon as maritime law, and they state that, they're done. Either way, they're done. Common law. You can't hold me accountable for that, especially when I was legit and selling my own private property. Now you, the state DMV, acting as DMV in the jurisdiction of DMV, which would be a maritime jurisdiction, has no place over here in America. And I go, and because I was going to say United States of America, but United States is a corporation. The word United States is legal defined as corporation. So it has to be maritime. And they can't impose maritime on you unless you consent. It has no place. Maritime law is sea law, people. It's bringing the sea onto the land and trying to hold you accountable for the debt through the trust. I understand a lot of you don't understand this. Mostly the player haters that don't understand. Because that's why they make the player hater comments, because they just do not understand. They think they may understand, but they don't. And it goes to show by the comments I read. How childish. Then the judge is going to say, well, then I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. That's what he's going to do. That's what they do. Of course, I'm going to object. You're practicing law from the bench. You are forbidden from doing that. Now he's in a catch-22. What are you going to do? You can't practice law from the bench. It's forbidden. So you can't proceed without a plea. Entering a plea, you just can't proceed. And I can't enter a plea until I know the nature and cause. The nature is jurisdiction. What's the nature? Common law or admiral time? It's either one or the other. So anyways, I don't want to make this too long. Every time I do make these, I'm tired. Been a long day. I'm mentally drained from all the legal education I'm giving myself. The internet's beautiful. 5-7 years ago, I would consider myself a very uneducated person. And I still am to certain things, and just like anybody else is. And everybody else is smart in their own right. Just like I'm smart in my own right. I have a knack for law. I don't want to deal with law. I should have became an attorney. But then that's fighting for the corporation. So you got to understand, when you go to court and they try to appoint an attorney to you, they're saying that you're not capable of handling your own affairs. And I am very capable of handling my own legal affairs. Okay? And once you get an attorney, then you're considered still an infant. And that, got to understand that even though he's public defender or whatever you get, a lawyer, a paid lawyer, they're still working for the state. Their first obligation is to the court, whether you're paying him or not. And that's why lawyers always say, well, you can't do that, Your Honor. You're going to violate my client's rights. Or that's going to prejudice him. Let him do it. That's an appeal issue. So I don't believe this bogus, frivolous pretense charge is going to stand and make it past the first day of court. I'll be very surprised if it does. But I'll be objecting to everything because I know certain things you have to do. You have to follow the law. And as long as I follow the law, I'll be all right. I truly and honestly believe that with all my heart. And that's what I do. I follow the law. Sorry, folks. I get told it's been a long day. I follow the law, so. Anyways, peeps, I just wanted to brief you on when you go to court, part of the due process is knowing the jurisdiction, knowing the nature. The nature is jurisdiction. Common law jurisdiction or admiral jurisdiction. There's only two jurisdictions to answer to in the Constitution. You know, I'm a private citizen. I don't contract with the state. I don't make money by way of highway. I'm not acting in an interstate commercial capacity. I'm my own private person that doesn't want to be harassed and play their Ponzi schemes. And that's what it is. See, when you're born, you get a birth certificate. But on the side of that, the government creates a fictitious entity in all cap names. So you'll see any court paperwork, Social Security number, Social Security name, and alike will all be capital. That's pertaining to a then entity that was created when you were born. And that entity is on the market, buying and selling. So my next step is, how do I figure out where to go and where to look to find my trust in my name? Because when you look at your Social Security card, there's numbers on it that are in red. That's your router number, peeps. Your router number. You flip it over, you get your Social Security number. Oh, let's take the Social Security out of it and let's put your bank number. Because that's exactly what it is. That's your bank number. And on the back is your router number. Make no mistake about it. That is the way it is. There's so much that we don't know, we're not taught when we're growing up. And we understand, and I understand, that the next generation is going to be even smarter than the generation before them, just like I'm smarter than the generation before me. Some people would beg to differ, but hey, whatever. But you got to remember, when you're dealing with the courts, dealing with traffic tickets, I was going to say traffic tickets, operating without a license, shit like that. You got to understand, operating is commerce. It's already been spoken. It's already been ruled on. I'm in a pleasure conveyance automobile, taking care of my private, personal business. So I got two of them. I got two operating without a license, which is a freaking joke. Outstated cases. Yeah, I've shown the paper quickly, but you know what? It isn't because the cop didn't show up, because the cop was there. And in the initial hearing, they found for the state And I don't understand who the state was at the time because there weren't no state in there. They get you in this political entity scheme. When you go to court for a traffic ticket, it's definitely a civil. So, but if you appeal it, then you get to go on to a hearing and to a trial. And the state's attorney argues that. So why isn't a state's attorney arguing it initially in a traffic court hearing? That's how fucked up the law is, peeps. That's how fucked up in scheming these people are. They're not stupid. The way they use legalese words, the way they phrase things, the way they write things, they're not fucking stupid. Well, nor am I. Because I know the law applies. I guess they shut the window because they didn't like me swearing. So, they're not stupid. And neither am I. Peace.